Welcome to lesson 12.2. Please open your math books and turn to page 647. We're going to start with unlock the problem. Now, the unlock the problem today is a little bit different. It's supposed to be an activity, but since we're not all together, we're just going to have to do it digitally. So, the unlock the problem says you can use a ruler to measure length. A ruler is 1 foot long, shows 12 inches in a foot. A ruler that is 3 feet long is called a yardstick. There are 3 feet in 1 yard. So as we can see from the image here, on top we have our yard. And yardstick measures 1 yard, which is also equal to 3 feet. Underneath that yard, we have rulers. So I've got 1 ruler, 2 ruler, 3 rulers. So if I line up 3 rulers in a row, I can get the same distance as a yardstick. Now, each ruler is equal to 1 foot, which is equal to 12. All right, so let's look at our question. How does the size of a foot compare to the size of an inch? Now, I don't have any numbers in here, but I do have some important keywords. I have the word inch and the word foot. I also have the word compare, which is telling me what I'm going to do. I'm going to find out how they're different. So, the activity says to cut out a paper in 1-inch tiles and label each one 1 inch. We're not going to do that. We're just going to look at the tiles in the book. So once you've cut out those 1-inch tiles, each one represents 1 inch. And if we place them end to end, we get 1 foot. If we count, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches in 1 foot measurement. So let's compare them. How does this 1 foot or 12 inches compare to 1 inch? Well, 1 foot is 12 times larger than 1 inch because it's 12 of those inches end to end. So 1 foot is 12 times as long as 1 inch. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this information here and apply it to a problem. So let's go to our next example. So our example, we're going to compare measures. Emma has 4 feet of thread. She needs 50 inches of thread to make some bracelets. How can she determine if she has enough thread to make the bracelets? Since let's go back. I kept reading. So let's go ahead and let's do cubes. So first I need to find my important numbers. I have 4 and 50. Those are my only numbers. So now I'm going to look at my question. How can she determine if she has enough thread to make the bracelet is our question. Now I'm going to look for those keywords. Always our units for keywords, so feet and inches. And I notice that they're different. So let's go back to our question and see if there's any keywords in there. How can she determine if she has enough thread to make the bracelets? So we want to know if she has 4 feet, does she have enough to make 50 inches? So we're going to use a tool called a table to help us figure this out. Since 1 foot is 12 times longer than as 1 inch, you can write feet as inches by multiplying the number of feet by 12. So, for example, 1 foot equals 12 inches, which is 1 times 12, which equals 12. For 2 feet, we take 2, and multiply by 12, and we get 24. So 2 feet equals 24 inches. Now, for our next one, we've got 3 feet. We're still going to multiply by 12 to get 36. So they're 36 inches in 3 feet. For 4 feet, we still multiply by 12, and we get 48. So they're 48 inches in 4 feet. And in 5 feet, we multiply by 12. That gives me 60 inches in 5 feet. So now we're going to compare them. We know 4 feet is equivalent or equal to 48 inches. Now that they are the same unit, so we don't need to change this one, it can stay the same. Now that they are the same unit, I can compare and decide which one is greater and which one is less. So if I'm looking here, I've got 48 inches and 50 inches. 50 is definitely greater than 40. So does Emma, let's going back to our question, how can she determine if she has enough thread to make the bracelets? She has 4 feet, but she needs 50 inches. So does she have enough thread? No, because 4 feet is less than 50 inches. So Emma does not have enough thread to make the bracelets. Okay, now we're going to continue this problem. Down here it says, what if Emma had 5 feet of thread? Would she have enough thread to make the bracelets? Well, if she had 5 feet, would she have enough thread to make the bracelets? Well, if I go back up here to our table, 5 feet is equal to 60 inches. So I've got 5 feet is equal to 60 inches. And she needs 50 inches. So if I compare 60 and 50, 60 is larger, which means that 5 feet is greater than 50 inches. So if Emma had 5 feet of thread, she would have enough. Now I'm going to write it out in a complete sentence. So my final answer, if I'm answering in a complete sentence, if Emma had 5 feet of thread, she would have enough thread to make the bracelet. Okay, and that's how we use multiplication to help us go between inches and feet. And that's a really important skill. So let's go ahead and let's turn to our share and show. So now we're going to look at yards. The question says, compare the size of a yard to the size of a foot. Use a model to help. So my keywords are yard and foot, and we're comparing them. So I've got up here my 1 yard, which represents this whole distance. And I've got down here my pieces that represent 1 foot. So I've got 1 foot, 1 foot, and 1 foot. So how do these compare to a yard? I can see that 1, 2, 3 feet make up 1 yard. So 1 yard is 3 times as long as 1 foot. So if I was to change feet, yards into feet, I would multiply by 3. Okay, let's go ahead and pause the video and see if you can solve 2, 3, and 4 on your own, and then unpause when you're ready to check your work. Okay, welcome back. Let's go ahead and check your work. So we have 2 feet equals how many inches? Well, I know that feet equal 1 foot equals 12 inches. So I need to multiply. So I'm going to do 2 times 12, which equals 24. So 2 feet equals 24 inches. 3 yards equals how many feet? Well, I know that each yard has 3 feet in it. So I'm going to do 3 times 3 and get 9. So 3 yards equals 9 feet. Last but not least, I have 7 yards into feet. So I'm going to take that number 7 and multiply by 3 because there are 3 feet in a yard. 3 times 7 is 21. So there are 21 feet in 7 yards. Okay, there's a couple more practice problems we want to do. So go ahead and move to the on your own section. We're not going to do we're going to do the whole on your own section. You're going to start by doing 5, 6, 7 on your own. And then we're going to have you check your work, and then we'll look at 8 through 10. Okay, welcome back. We are looking at the on your own section. We have 4 yards equals how many feet? Well, there are 3 feet in yards. I'm going to do 4 times 3 equals 12. I have 12 feet in 4 yards. 10 yards. I'm going to take 10, multiply by 3 because I'm changing to feet. 10 times 3 is 30. So there are 30 feet in 10 yards. And then number 7, there are 7 feet. And I'm going to multiply this one by 12 because I know there are 12 inches in each foot. So 7 times 12 is 84. That's going to be 84 inches in 7 feet. Okay. Now we're going to compare and contrast, or compare using our symbols, our less than, greater than, or equal to. So for number 8, I've got 1 foot is, let's look at it, greater or less than 13 inches. Well, I can't compare these two because the units are not the same. However, I know that 1 foot equals 12 inches. So now that these are the same, I can compare them. Which one is larger, 12 inches or 13 inches? Well, 13 is larger than 12. Number 9, 2 yards versus 6 feet. So these do not have the same unit, so I'm going to have to change them so they're the same. I know I can change yards into feet by multiplying by 3. So 2 times 3 equals 6. So 6, there are 6 feet in 2 yards, and the other answer is 6 feet. So these two are actually equal. So 2 yards is equal to 6 feet. And last but not least, number 10, 6 feet and 60 inches. Well, I know I can change feet into inches easily by multiplying. So I take 6 times 12 equals 72. Oops. So now I'm going to compare them. Which one's greater, 72 inches or 60 inches? 72 is greater. Okay, that concludes our math lesson for today. So you can go ahead and move on to your math practice and the Google Forms.